Chris Bosh will not be returning to the Miami Heat. The news announced this morning from Heat President Pat Riley. There was a press conference also this morning on NBA TV that is yet to be at least released, I saw online, from Erik Spoelstra, to which he was also saying it's just tough to see anybody's career come to this point with his team. We did a clip about a month or 2 months ago on Chris Bosh being back, where he was working out in the gym. He was ecstatic, and we discussed back and forth about how when all you know in your life, the one thing that you excel at more than almost anybody else on this planet is basketball, it makes it nearly impossible to stop playing when a doctor says to you, or multiple doctors in Chris Bosh's case, say you can't really play basketball anymore.
Yeah.
So at least in terms of what Bosh had to say from Bleacher Report's Uninterrupted, take a look at that. This was the second installment of what I guess was supposed to be like a week-by-week series following his return, but that got cut a little bit short given the news this morning.
I had the intention of releasing episode 2 with Uninterrupted, Bosh Rebuilt, today, under the assumption that I would be cleared to go for camp. Unfortunately, that is not the case, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to share my creative side with you guys and hoping that you want to come along on the journey with me. So just because the journey has ups and downs doesn't mean that I will stop sharing with you guys. So I will just continue to share despite what's going on. Little setbacks happen, but that doesn't change my intentions.
Yeah, you feel for the man, you do. The one thing to keep in mind here, at least from the Heat's perspective, is the amount of money that they would be technically saving with Bosh not playing. It appears the Heat aren't willing to take the risk. That's obvious at this point. He's deemed unable to play. The Heat can petition the NBA to wipe off the remaining $75 million due to Bosh over the next 3 years. From their cap, Bosh will still get paid, with an insurance policy offsetting about half that number. So it clears roughly $33.5 million, $32.5 million. From Pat Riley himself, as reported by Ira Winderman from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel, we are not working towards Bosh's return. I think Chris is still open-minded, but we are not working towards his return. We feel that based on the last exam that his Heat career is probably over. One blood clot in the leg, then eventually the lungs. It happened again last year. It's happened again during a physical where they keep finding these. What do you do if you're Chris Bosh?
You got to think about your family. You got to think about the bigger picture, which again is so easy for me to sit here and say. Yeah, you got to think about things. You've made enough money, but again, to this guy, it's probably not about the money. He would probably play for nothing if he could go out there and play, because he's made his money in the sport. He's made his impact in the sport. He just wants to keep playing because it's so hard to try and train your mind that you can go forward and do something else. That's why one of the biggest things you see from athletes is they begin to start setting up that post-career after, like when it comes to the tail off at the end. Like Chris Bosh hasn't done that as much yet. We've seen him on any given Wednesday.
Right.
Sorry, and I think he's a very charismatic figure. He talks well. I think he's got a job on television somewhere if he wants it. But you see people like Michael Jordan towards the end of his career, LeBron James, not towards the end of his career now, but setting up that foundation. So you feel that Chris Bosh hasn't even thought of this, really. He's thinking, all right, these are minor setbacks, but I'm going to play. I've still got a couple of years left. He's probably looking at Dwayne Wade, who, again, is someone that he spent many years with at the Heat and created that foundation there with him. And he's going to the Chicago Bulls. He's continuing to play. He's even thriving. I think Dwayne Wade averaged just 0.3 less than what he did back in 2010, I want to say, in the NBA Finals, what he did this year. So he was
in the playoffs.
Yeah, sorry,
Possibly.
not the finals, but in the playoffs. Yeah, he did. It was a stat that I read up. So like he's still able to contribute to his team, and it's obviously going to hurt. It's going to hurt for a guy like that who knows basketball inside out, knows that he could probably still add to that team and help them get to where they need to be, but it's just whether or not the team are willing to take that risk, because it is a lot of money for the Heat.
Well, it's a major amount of money, and Pat Riley is a very stern businessman. I mean, he had, it doesn't seem he's like too phased that his franchise player for the better half of a decade, Dwayne Wade, walked to Chicago.
Yeah.
He wasn't willing to give him that, the money for that either. So what I'm curious about is how the rest of the league picks up on this, because what we don't know right now is this, again, a Heat team doctors thing, doctors in Miami, doctors around that area, or is this also going to be league-wide where other team doctors for other teams, if they're interested in signing Bosh or trying to sign Bosh, say, look, dude, you can't pass a physical. How could we have you on the team?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you can tell that he's still in high hopes. He's not out there saying, you know what, this journey's ending. Like, I'm going to have to think about something else. He's saying basically, I've got minor setbacks, but he still firmly believes that he has the ability to perform on a team. It's just whether or not he's able to get clearance, because you could feel ready, you could feel like you could contribute to any franchise, but if a doctor tells you no, especially when it's something like a blood clot, this isn't an ACL sprain or an MCL sprain or anything else. This is something that if you continue to play, there's a high possibility you could die.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's just the harsh reality of it. You don't tear your knee again, and it's a long road to recovery. This is something that you're flirting with a very severe case that I'm sure Chris Bosh understands. He's not a stupid guy. He's not sitting there thinking, I'm going to put my whole life on the line. But it's something inside of him is screaming out that he could still play.
It's tough. It's just tough to watch. Chris Bosh is a very likable player.
Yeah.
He plays with his heart on his sleeve. There's a fly in the studio. It's driving us crazy. It's literally been just all around. You are annoying us.
You are the fly.
So what I want to pick up from, though, is, as somebody aptly remembered on Instagram this morning, I think it's NBA History's Instagram, before Ray Allen's three-pointer, Bosh was there to get the offensive rebound.
Yep.
Credit to Chris Bosh.
It wasn't just Ray Allen that saved LeBron's ass.
Oh my God!
It was Chris Bosh.
The world's dumbest argument is I'd say top 5 dumbest argument in NBA history. Ray, I'm going to lose it. God, get the fuck out of here. Top 5 dumbest arguments in NBA history. Ray Allen bailed out LeBron James with a three-pointer. Okay, go watch that game and you tell me that's.
I can't believe you caught it. You belong in the NBA, because that was sheer
The Heat can sign me. By the way, Francis, Dwayne Wade in this year's playoffs, yes, averaged roughly the same amount of points and shot better from the field than the 2011 playoffs.
Is that what you searched? You're backing up my quote? Woo!
Was not as good as his 33-point ridiculous performance before LeBron was there. So, like, favorite, subscribe to the channel, comment below with what you would do if you're in Chris Bosh's situation. Yeah. He's more than welcome to join TYT Sports. He would have to sit on the floor because his head would come to like here.
Yeah, he could sit on this stool. It's very small.
He'd still have us by about a foot.
And by the way, talking about heat, before the comment section goes crazy, Francis, where's your suit? It's a Monday. It's 105 degrees in Los Angeles. I was pouring sweat on the way in. I must have lost about 10 pounds on the way here.
You can afford it.